He was born March 16th, 2020. And the day before I was about to go into delivery was the day that our doula called saying we're not allowed in the operating room. When he came out, we had no idea that the hands were truly affected. And so that was like, of course, the mom, the first thing you see is, okay, what's going on with his hands? I didn't get to see Norman for like 5 hours because of Norman being pulled from test to test. And I think you don't imagine that that's gonna be your experience when you deliver a baby.
The first thing that she said to me after the birth was, I think I saw something different about his hands.
We knew that he had an opening in his brain. We knew his eyelid wasn't fully formed, and we knew that he had, at the time they called it syndactyly, so like that's when your fingers are fused together. But we didn't know that it was all really connected until we went to Dr. Van Heest, and she said, oh, this is amniotic band syndrome.
So amniotic band syndrome is a syndrome where there are bands of amniotic tissue that wrap around. It can be the digits, as in Norman's case. It can also be around the forearm or the arm or the legs or the feet. And those bands meld the tissue together.
There was definitely a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of worry about what eventually Norman was going to have to deal with or look like.
The family had very little information about that, so talking a lot about reassurance and what things could be done and at what points we do the surgery, and the fact that we have to do the surgery in stages so that it would take 2 separate surgeries.
He still did have all of his bones there, and that if they were able to successfully separate them, they would give him a chance to have something. It might not look like our hands or your hands, but they'll be his hands nonetheless.
What is important, that you have centers of excellence, such as the one that Dr. Van Heest is leading, so that you do have a place where the child with a condition that is infrequent can come and get the help that they need.
I think one of the things that put my mind at ease was the information that Dr. Van Heest gave us. She told us what to expect as he grows. But it wasn't just Dr. Van Heest, her entire staff.
Yeah.
It was exceptional with Norman.
So he had 2 surgeries. The first was at 6 months old and the second was at 9 months. So the first surgery was separating his fingers like this on both hands, and then the second surgery is splitting up all of them.
And the function of his hands are very good. He's got 10 digits, and he's able to use his thumbs. He's able to grasp and release. He'll be able to hold a pen. He'll be able to button buttons and zip zippers, and we will be able to teach him things and help him with these things so he can lead a normal life.
It's given us inspiration, and I cannot wait to tell him when he gets older what he went through. I try to show him photos right now, but I don't think he can connect the dots about what happened and the struggles that he went through at such an early age. But anything that does deter him in the future, I cannot wait to remind him what he's already been through. Because if he's been through that, he can get through anything.